So this is one example where OTC, basically order to cash, is transforming with new business models. So this is the traditional model where you have like a price per item and you have standalone transactions, right? You don't get everything like in a collaborated version of anything, right? And so this is
Mm-hmm.
the new business model which we are focusing on. So if you see, you have subscription where you, let's say you're subscribing to something and you're billed on a quarterly basis or on a basically on a particular cycle. Like you have subscription on a recurring basis, which can go for monthly, annual, based on whatever the customer wants, right? So that's one
Mm-hmm.
thing. Revenue sharing is another thing. Usage comes more into picture from a utilities perspective. Let's say electricity departments, etc. Even for telecom, I'll say. So these days, if you see, so initially what you saw was that you had a subscription thing, but you also, on top of the subscription, after a particular point, if your let's say your allowance or the credit which got exhausted,
Mm-hmm.
you were billed on a usage basis. Let's say after 2 GB or 3 GB, what happened was that was initial
Yeah.
in the initial stages where, like, after 3 GB you used to get billed, let's say, 0.01 rupee for, or point 1 rupee for, let's say, 100 KB or something, right? So on top
Yeah.
of subscription on a recurring, you had a usage prices, you had a usage component as well. So that's where the usage came in. Discounts as well. So, well, let's say you get certain discounts on the basis of the product you're on the basis of the quantity you consume, right? So let's say from a understanding from a telecom perspective, let's say you use 3 GB, and if you
Mm-hmm.
exhaust 3 GB, you use another 1 GB, you get a discount of something, right? Let's say
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. So it's, if you see, but currently what's happening, if you see, Shrikant, is more than usage, it's all becoming on a subscription. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't see
Mm-hmm.
more of like usage based. So if you see even Netflix gives you a simple recurring price of, let's say, in INR it is 700, and in
Mm-hmm.
700 you can consume as many things as possible for as long as possible in a month, right? It's not that if you're
Exactly.
giving 700 you can only watch 3 series or 4 series, right? That's not
Right.
something which is happening. So this usage part is coming into play mostly on the utility side. Let's say if you have a water metering or event metering, electricity metering, all these particular solutions will always have this usage component. It's not that and everything is only limited to subscription. So you can also have a subscription along with usage. But from what I see is that from usage, most of the things are moving to a simple subscription, because users, from a consumer, I don't want to pay for extra usage. You just give me one price, I will consume as much as I want. That's what's happening.
Yes. They want some predictability month to month or period to period,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, basically, this is the challenge, as in you have lack of agility to embrace change. You cannot share revenue with your partners, or if you have a complete ecosystem of your partners, you can't do that. And there's no transaction level traceability. So that leads to revenue leakage. And
Mm.
there's another thing, the inability to scale. So scalability is something which is more really important. If you see so many startups and all, they always talk about scalability. So that's something which, from small trials, and even so, let's say even this rise with SAP thing which I'm talking about, right?
Mm.
It started off with a few customers, but then SAP just wants to do it as many clients as possible, right? So that's one thing where scalability comes into play. So now we'll move to BRIM. Then I'll just show you. So this is the SAP portfolio, right? If you see, there is all these operations. So you have inside financial planning and analysis, you have management reporting, profitability, etc. So you have
Mm.
these are the different modules, basically, I'll say: treasury
Mm.
management, enterprise, and risk. Now inside finance operations, we have a sub module called order to cash. So I'm sure you must be familiar with this because you have quite a rich experience in
Mm.
SAP, right? So record to report, procure to pay, tax,
Mm.
etc. Travel and expense. Order to cash is where the BRIM is positioned, basically. That is where the BRIM
Yeah.
component comes into play inside order to cash. So why did I'll just give you a brief on how BRIM, what exactly BRIM is. So if you see, the rapid design of service-based business models and the support of prepaid and postpaid business models is what brought BRIM into play. And the users, and also even, I'll say, enterprises, they want simple, flexible pricing and also product bundling, where you can bundle different products into one particular quote or one particular order, right?
Mm.
That's one thing. So you can design, and this design can be done in quite a quick time. So you don't need to like have a lot of configuration or anything in place for that.
On the
Holistic
fly.
management of, yeah, on the fly, yeah. Holistic
Okay.
management of recurring and usage based. So you have automated payment handling. You can do it from any channel.
Hmm.
Support for partner revenue, credit risk, etc. So all this is quite theoretical, but yeah.
Hmm.
Customer focused settlement and service at scale. So you have automated payment handling from any channel, master agreement support, etc.
Hmm.
So you see, this is the cloud version. So if you see orders, contracts, and entitlement, you start with your product life cycle basically. Then you do
Yeah.
the usage collection, you do the pricing, charging, and subscriptions. Then you bill and settle.
Hmm.
Then you have the payments, credit, and then customer care.